Kilo group.
Korea, Kim Soo-Hyun. From Albania, Romela Begay. From Chinese Taipei, Hyung-Hwan Tea. From Sweden, Patricia Strenous. From Colombia, Lady Solis. From Colombia, Ruth Mendoza. From Italy, Georgette Bordignon. From United States of America, Maddy Rogers. From Egypt, Samir. These are the athletes in the women's 69 kilo A session.
So here's our start list for the women's 69 kilo Group A category. And if you look at this group of 10, Sean, you have to think there's at least 8, maybe even 9 lifters in here who have the opportunity.
It's an old.
What is it? Old age and treachery will be youth. And all right, so now we have our first lifter on the platform. 94 kilos is the weight on the bar, and Patricia Strenous of Sweden.
Solid. Practically a power snatch. That's a good way to start.
It is, and she's lifted in a couple of European championships. She's been in the Worlds before, and almost always she makes her opener, and good technique.
Yeah, solid.
It's how you want a session to start, always. And if we can get a little string together here, I think the room will start to feel it. So now here's Bordignon of Italy. First attempt, 95 kilos. Her best is 99. Excuse me.
All right. You know, it's in a competition when you start out when it starts out with makes, it can be infectious, just like if you start out with misses.
That's what I was alluding to.
Right.
Yeah.
To your point, and we see it happen all the time.
And Georgia was nice enough to make it 2 in a row, so a good lift for her. We'll see her in a bit. And now we have Anna Torres.
And I've seen Anna lift at both those at the Pan Ams and the World University Games. And she's a really good lifter.
Another who is very consistent on her opening attempts. She has opened as heavy as 98. She did that at the 2015 World Championships in Houston.
Excellent.
Little forward, but had control all the way. A couple of steps just to secure it, but we're 3 for 3 to start this thing off.
I'd imagine that in her career she's going to wind up as a 75 because of her height. She's a little tall for the class, but she's young, which is good. So she's. I wouldn't be surprised in a couple of years we see her at 75.
Yes.
Year of birth 1995, so yeah, she's still in her early 20s.
Yeah.
And now it looks like in this first little wave of 3 or 4 lifters that are going to mix it up a bit, we'll start seeing some jockeying and changes. Right now it looks like 98 kilos will go on the bar for Hyung-Hwan Tea of Taipei. She has been to the World Championships before. She was here in Houston. She's lifted now in 2 consecutive Worlds. Unfortunately, she bombed out in the clean and jerk in Houston, had a rough day, went just 1 for 6, made her opening snatch with 98. She's opening with the same 98, and boy, that would scare me, just superstition.
It's go up or down 1.
1.
Well, she's broken the streak.
Well, no, she made her 98.
Oh, right.
So the next one is going to be crucial.
Right.
So 98 on the board. And Maddy Rogers is being called. And Maddy, we've seen north of 100. And the thing about Maddy is she's up there, I'd say, with a few lifters that I can think of that have been exceptional, at least over the last year or two, in selecting weights they know they can make.
Well, she's been almost perfect in major competition.
Yeah, her opening snatch attempt miss at the Pan Am Games was the first competition lift she missed in like a year.
Yes.
Literally. And that doesn't mean just one competition. That was like 6 competitions.
Right.
So she has moved up, and now we will go back to Patricia Strenous of Sweden, 99 kilos. From what I can tell, this will be a personal best for her.
The little squeezing of the bar, not allowing the speed to come through in the finish. She's got to relax her arms a little bit, and that bar will fly into the right position.
So we should note that, well, we'll take a look at this here again. Yeah, she didn't get it punched out. I was in front. The leader from the B session is Yadav Poonam of India. She went 3 for 3, snatched 98 kilos. So 98 kilos is for now is not the leader anymore. That's now second. And the reason why is because the lifter from Chinese Taipei, who we just saw, opened with 98, whereas Yadav did it on her 3rd. In any case, Strenous is a lifter who entered with 233 and opened with, or it will open with weights that factor in the 20 kilo rule. She's going to open up with weights that total out to 213. So an obvious play to get her into this session.
99 kilos, second attempt, Torres.
All right, so now we are back to Torres of Mexico. And Torres, who was, as I mentioned, very consistent on openers, has historically almost never made a snatch attempt on her 2nd attempt. Until now.
That's great. You know, in this, for those of you wondering, you know, what goes into the strategy behind choosing weights in the snatch, you know, really, in this snatch, you want to put yourself in a good position to be able to move up places in the clean and jerk. So you don't want to take too many chances in the snatch. You want to stay within the pack. You don't need to be a hero here. You just need to make they need to make choices that are reasonable, and they need to make good attempts.
All right, so now here's Strenous' 3rd attempt, 99 kilos. She missed the 2nd attempt out in front.
She needs to be faster with her arms and feet in that transition to getting under the bar. Yes. Oh. Well, she corrected the mistake she made before and introduced another one.
And what did you see?
She just didn't, she wasn't rigid in the catch, and she stood up, her arm unlocked. You got to keep on pushing up on the bar.
So she'll be credited with 94 kilos from her 1st attempt. And let's take a look at what we, maybe she leaned forward
Good
a bit
position.
also. Yeah, right
she
there.
just, it might have been a little bit forward, maybe not, but you can't unlock those elbows.
Oh, no, yeah. All right, so now we are running a 1. We're not running the clock yet, not sure why. Oh, get the bar cleaned off. Blood on the bar. So they are moving the bar off the platform and getting it cleaned up. Usually, you know, do they roll it forward now? I thought they used to roll it back. Yeah, so the center ref.
No, they roll it forward because the athlete will step in it.
That's right. That's what it is. So the reason why the barbell is rolled forward is because I used to like to think when they brush,
right,
they blow the dust into the referees' faces. But
better the referee faces than on the athlete's shoes.
Yeah, but in this case, they were cleaning the bar, and they do that too. Yeah, forward, whatever. Anyway, all right. So now we have Kim Soo-Hyun of Korea.
Solid.
That's a beautiful lift.
All right, she's fired up.
Yes, she is.
Good lift, Kim, 100 kilos.
She is on the board with 100 kilos, and this was
From the United States of America,
this is a pretty easy lift.
Maddy Rogers.
And I focus on it all the time. I love it when I see a rebound out of the bottom. You know, if you hit it just right, it's almost as if the bar picks you back up.
Absolutely.
And that's what you saw right there. I mean, it's just, it's the best.
Italy, second attempt.
All right, Rogers was briefly introduced and then moved again. So that means she's out of changes. 101 kilos will be the weight that we see for Maddy Rogers. There will be a couple of attempts until we get there. But in the meantime, 100 is sitting on the second attempt of Georgette Bordignon, and she's going to take this because this is a 5-kilo jump here. So,
right. She made that first attempt relatively easy. This is a big jump for her. Yeah, that's what I thought. I questioned that jump.
yeah, you know, in looking through her history, she's been a gambler. There's some.
Well, she's not in the hunt for a medal.
No, but
So,
to your point earlier, though, you were talking about the snatch, and you don't have to be, you know, too aggressive. But different lifters, especially if they're a snatch specialist, will go about things differently. And you know, there are times where she's taken 3-kilo jumps. There are times
Right.
where she's taken 6-kilo jumps. There's, you know, so she's sort of mixes it up, I think, based on how she's feeling.
well, I think another reason to make reasonable jumps in the snatch is to build confidence. You know, let's get the first 2 in and then take a chance.
All right, so now we are back to Hyung-Hwan Tea of Chinese Taipei. Second attempt. 2-kilo jump.
Nice lift.
All right, 2 for 2 for Hyung-Hwan Tea. So she has broken that string.
Right. Yes, she has. Very convincingly.
And we're back to Bordignon for her third attempt. And, you know, like I said, I mentioned she's kind of,
Right.
she's willing to take chances. But one thing she does do is make totals. This is not a lifter who is bomb out prone in any stretch of the imagination. In fact, in a huge number of lifts, I don't think she's ever bombed in a major meet. So move her into third.
That's better. That's better. See, 5 kilos in the snatch, especially for a woman of 69 kilos, is a pretty significant jump.
Yeah, it's now become on the larger side.
But now she took that second attempt and missed it, but her nervous system is primed already. So now she goes back out and she makes it.
All right, so now here is Maddy Rogers of the United States. First attempt, 101 kilos.
Get vertical. Right? Wait for the call. Let's go. Let's go.
Business as usual.
Not a surprise, 101 kilos, good lift for Maddy Rogers. She has opened as heavy as 103, but...
Doesn't need to here.
Exactly. And little adjustment there on the bottom, but as always, very smooth. Great start for Rogers. And now here's the third attempt of Anna Torres.
She needs to finish.
No. So Torres has tried 101 kilos on a few occasions so far, hasn't been able to bring it home, and her first two attempts were very nice. Yes. 96, 99. She will take that 99 into the clean and jerk, where she is going to be a player for a possible medal in that discipline. We shall see. I do think we've got Mendoza ready at 102 kilos. Yeah. Ruth Mendoza. This is her first World Championships, and you know, we talk about the Colombian weightlifting program and team, and they continue to produce athletes. This is one I've never seen before.
Right.
She's snatching 102 kilos on an opener at the World Championships. Oh.
Well, not yet. She hasn't snatched it yet. It seems the Colombians
she
left a
move.
couple. Oh yeah, I have no doubt. I mean, if she's here, she's good. The Colombians seem to have left some of their top lifters at home. It seems that maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, there's a couple, but you know, they've brought the full boat. I think. I mean, they've brought a full team, obviously, but you know, this is beginning of quad opportunity to give some others a chance to lift. All right, so now here, Sarah Samir. 102 kilos. She opened with 107 in Rio, ultimately snatched 112. That's a surprise. And I'll tell you, that didn't look convincing. It didn't look convincing either in her approach or her demeanor. You know, sometimes you see that fire, you see when somebody's ready to go. She's looking a little tentative.
Timid?
Yeah.
Tentative? Yeah.
So, interesting. All right, so now we are back to Mendoza, and that one might have been, that opening attempt missed, that 102 kilos. You're nodding at your head. It might have been nerves.
Yeah, I mean, she's a great athlete. Moves, like you said, she moves really well. So maybe she got off the jitters, and now she's ready to
just put it away. She's got to get it back. I mean, just watch how quickly from the, you know, from that power position to underneath. Boom.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean,
she's really exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing her more.
Jerk.
Yeah.
Well, she's got one more attempt, but
yes.
I mean, that was lightning fast. We've said it a couple of times, Sean. I mean, even in slow motion, you can tell when somebody's just moving at a different speed than everyone else around them, and that was unbelievable. All right, so now looks like 102 kilos is going to stay on. Hyung-Hwan Tea is being called, and it looks like she will take it. 2 for 2 thus far. .103 is her best. She did that in Ashgabat earlier this year at the Asian Championships. She placed second there. Excuse me, bronze overall.
Oh, slow. That was really slow. The bar didn't look like it didn't change speeds. And generally you see the pull from the floor past the knee is one speed, and then in the explosion it's going to be faster.
Very much like what we saw with that Colombian lifter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hers was really fast and really, really fast.
All right, so to your point earlier, by the way, here is Romila.
Yeah, there's no way she's open
Big Eye.
10.
She had 110 kilos opened originally, has dropped down to 103. So what that means now is there are 7 lifters in this competition right now. Every one of them is sitting on 103.
And it's a race to see who makes it first. But again, it doesn't matter as much in the snatch.
What I'm saying is we got a battle here.
Right.
Good lift there for Big Eye at 103 kilos.
Solid opener.
We're going to call from the United States. Correction. We're going to call from Republic of Korea. Kim Soo-Rin. Korea. Kim Soo-Rin.
All right, now we have Kim Soohyun of Korea. Second attempt, 103 kilos. If successful, this will move her into second.
She had a great opener. She's built for weightlifting, man. She's great.
But this attempt is a great example, though, of what you were talking about,
Right.
Sean. 104 is what would move her into the lead right now. Had a great opener, but their plan says 3-kilo jump.
Right.
What the team from Korea believes is the best opportunity for Kim is to take 103 here, and that's exactly what they put on the bar.
And now she puts herself in a great position.
Republic of Korea, 103.
In both the competition and under the bar.
Yeah, absolutely.
From the United States of America, Maddy Rogers.
All right, that is a great second attempt there from Kim. And now Maddy Rogers
She's not taken.
Yeah, has been called but moved up to 4. Right. And now we have Sarah Samir, and Samir
Puts her,
isn't looking like she's coming out for this. She's in the warm-up room, just threw her towel down. She's not taking this 103. Yep, there's the change going in, and she missed 102. And that's an interesting.
Sarah Samir has asked for an increase as well. 104 kilos loaders.
So she's going to sit on 104. It looks like, all right, now we'll give us Lady Solis.
She's a veteran lifter, medalist at the Olympics. It's not her first rodeo.
No, even though she's a junior. And we talk about the world championships and major meets not always being about lifting the most of your life, but
what you
one
need.
more kilo. And here's 1 more kilo. So Solis is opening with 104. She is the last lifter to open. 104 will move her into first place.
She's a dynamic lifter. She's fun to watch.
Everyone else is sitting on 104 right now. But she's the first to take it, which means she will be the leader if successful.
Oh boy, that's a big miss. Now Maddy comes up and makes this. She's the leader.
And this is how we're going to continue with this. So every time somebody makes a lift, I think you're going to see 1 kilo tick up. And Maddy taking 104. Well, let's take a look at this again from Solis. And that's a surprise from Solis. She's usually very sharp. So Maddy is going to come out here for 104. She is the American record holder in the snatch.
This will put her in a very, very strong position.
And get vertical. Okay, tight. Wait, do not move.
Wow. That was great.
It was great, and you know, I was a little bit worried about it at the start, and tell us why.
She was out of her rhythm in
Yeah.
her setup. She doesn't normally take that much time.
And then watch the bar, I felt like might have been just a little bit away from her shin as well, and I was just worried that the line might not be right, and man, she crushed it.
Yeah, she's very, very, very good performer.
All right, so now here's something that I would look at as a gamble.
Right.
2 kilo increase off a miss.
But
Sarah Samir, and this will move her into second behind Maddy Rogers. Yeah, and she's visibly shaken here. Something's up. And, you know, this is a lifter who's done 113 kilos on the biggest stage there is. And she's clearly having a tough time today. I don't know how the warm-ups went. I don't know if there's, you know, anything going on. Who knows? It could be a million things. But we're 2 attempts in here, and
she hasn't been close.
No, and she's got a problem. She did put a little more giddy up, I think I would call it, on that one, but all right, so now here is Lady Solis. Solis is our Pan Am champion. She has snatched 110 kilos. She did that in Rio.
That's better.
And I was about to say it was very uncharacteristic for her to miss an opening attempt snatch. She has never missed a first and second. And it's because of ability like that, but she, in her career, has never missed her first 2 attempts to start a competition, and that was not the case. Well, that is still the case today. So with that attempt, Lady Solis with 104 kilos will move into second, and I mean, everybody's in play. And Sarah Ahmed is now in a huge spot here, and the crowd is really into it. You could see she's still sort of crying, but this, you know, this crowd is really giving her support right now, and this is pretty cool. Let's see if she can close out 104 kilos on her 3rd attempt and stay in the competition.
She makes this, the crowd will erupt.
Go nuts.
A little overcompensation there. It's too bad because, you know, she was a contender for the medal.
She is an Olympian and an Olympic medalist, and she's one of the best lifters in the world at this weight class. And, you know, she is not at her best right now, and terrible to see, but, you know, I really do appreciate the support from the home crowd here. I mean, that would have been a special moment if she would have been able to make that, and hopefully...
Well, she'll use this experience, and it'll propel her forward in her career. I mean, she's just starting this, even though she's already an Olympic medalist.
Well, the door opened by Sarah Samir can very quickly be filled by Romela Begay here, who is taking 105 kilos to move into the lead. She lifted in split at the Europeans earlier this year, made 98 kilos on her opener, missed 101 twice. She opened with and made 103 here.
Beautiful. That was a great attempt.
She is 2 for 2. The guy is 2 for 2. And this is important, and the reason why is because
Mendoza wants more. The athlete
historically, the guy is not particularly consistent in the clean and jerk, so she needs to get everything she can out of this series here to, you know, to be a factor in the second half of this thing. All right, so now looks like we're running 105 kilos on the third attempt of Kim Soo-Hyun, and again, same situation as her second attempt. She is not getting baited into the game. She is taking what she wants. 105 kilos will not move her into the lead. It will move her into second, but based on how this thing is shaking out, she could finish this snatch competition in sixth and still only be 3 or 4 kilos out of the lead.
Absolutely. When it's this tight in the snatch, doesn't matter where you place.
Yeah. So 2 kilo jump from her second attempt make with 103. Here's 105. No.
That was slow off the hip. Again, that's one of those situations where the bar just didn't change speed, didn't get that acceleration in the explosion.
So no lift there for Kim Soo-Hyun. 103 kilos is what she'll be credited with, and even if that miss is not a killer.
No, it's not, because
prospects.
everybody's so tightly packed.
Even in the clean and jerk.
Yeah.
And she's amongst the leaders, at least for
Yes.
now. So keep an eye on her. And now this is a big lift for Mendoza.
She needs this because she's not great in the clean and jerk yet as far as numbers go. So she needs every kilo she can muster in the snatch.
She wants to play from ahead. Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Wow. That was great.
But if you can believe it, it may not guarantee her a medal. This is a great effort, and she's got to sit in the back, and if anyone misses, she's on the medal stand.
Right.
There are now 3 attempts left, so I'll say it another way. Just watch this. Ugh. Anybody who makes a lift, so long as it's more than 106, is on the medal stand.
Right.
And Maddy Rogers is one of those people in play. So Maddy has moved up to 107. That's going to put Lady Solis on the platform at 106.
I don't think she's going to.
No way is Solis taking 106. And Maddy's standing in the doorway because she knows she's coming out. So the way that the cards and the strategy have situated themselves is that because Maddy Rogers opened first, the others have the changes in hand. They've got the order of lifting in their favor, so they're going to go up to 107, put Maddy on the platform. If Maddy misses, they'll stay with 107. If Maddy makes it, they'll move to 108. The next lifter, Solis, will move to 108. If she's successful, Begaj will move up to 109. So Maddy Rogers can guarantee a medal in the snatch with a success right now with 107 kilos. She did 105 at Nationals earlier this year.
Be patient. Get vertical. Set, up, wait.
That was there.
So no lift at 107 for Maddy Rogers. Let's take a look at this again. It was right on the, oh man, it was right there.
A lot like Harrison's missed third snatch in the last session.
All right, well, Solis is coming right back out. We're down to our final 2 attempts on this session. If both are misses, Maddy is still sitting in third. If Solis makes this, Maddy will be fourth. And Solis will have to wait out the final attempt. So this is a huge attempt in this competition.
Oh. Wow.
So that means Lady Solis will place fourth in the snatch. On a tie with Maddy Rogers. Both of them did it on second attempts, but Maddy Rogers made it first. So she is at least the bronze medalist in the snatch. That will not change. What might change is the weight. 107 kilos stays on. The lifter is now Romila Begay of Albania. If successful, winner in the snatch. If she misses, she will be the silver medalist in the snatch. And, you know, we're talking about a 1 kilo difference all the way down to fifth. I mean, nobody's far from here.
This is a great competition.
This is. Mendoza will be gold if this lift is missed.
That was a great lift.
3 for 3. Gold medal in the snatch at the women's 69 kilo category for Romila Begay.
We're going to take a 10-minute break. We'll be right back.
And that will bring the women's 69 kilo snatch competition to a conclusion. And boy, she just shot out of the bottom, stepped forward, but man.
Yeah, that was a great snatch. That was a great session. That really, this is what the weightlifting at its best looks like. It's just tightly packed. Every lift counts.
Yeah, weightlifting competition at its best, and I know what the world records are. I know who's here and
I don't care
here.
about the world records.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about the world records. We care about is the competition. What's happening out on the
right
stage.
now. Yes, people do care. Yes,
the battle.
Yeah.
The battle is what matters.
Right. And you get wrapped up in the moment. And I think we have, based on the efforts of this group of 10, created the atmosphere for some real fireworks here in the clean and jerk. I mean, this place is going to be electric when it comes down to it. If you have 6 to 10 lifters in play for a medal, as we draw to a close, what we did here with the snatch, I mean, it's just going to be unbelievable. Maddy Rogers very close with her third attempt at 107.
Hey. You're a big girl now. One more, man. One more time. That was great. That was great.
She's slated for a 128 kilo opener. I got a feeling that'll change.
What's Maddie's best in competition?
Shoot, 37, right?
Right. And Colombia has a new star, it seems.
Yeah. All right, so here are the results in the women's snatch competition, 69 kilos.
As you can see, not too much separating.
Nope. No bomb outs.
Well, one bomb out.
Well, that's from the, oh, thank you, sorry, Sarah.
Ready, clock resumed.
All right, we're ready to begin the clean and jerk competition in the women's 69 kilo group A. We have our first lifter on the platform, 117 kilos, Georgette Bordignon of Italy. She snatched 100 kilos on her third attempt. Nice start there for Bordignon.
So the idea, you know, in the clean and jerk, what you want to do is you're looking at who you can beat. And your first attempt is you're looking at step over a few people in the placement rankings. And that's how you choose your clean and jerk attempts.
And in Georgette's case, she took an attempt that complied with the 20-kilo rule.
Right. Well, there's
that too. She entered with a 230-kilo total, so she had to take weights that were within 20 kilos of that. And the other thing we should note is that will move her ahead of the, no, it won't, I'm sorry, 120 kilos was the winning clean and jerk out of the B group. That was also Yadav of India. So Sean, in the long run, I think that's the strategy of the clean and jerk, but in this case for Bordignon, she opened with a weight that didn't put her ahead of the leader of the B.
Well, let me ask you a question. So you're an official. So if she would have taken an attempt that was outside of the 20-kilo rule, what would have happened?
So she shouldn't have been able to. Is the first answer. Is the first answer, particularly on an opener, because the cards or the digital system should advise you of the fact that she's out of compliance with it. And if she insists on it, they could say, well, then you can increase your snatch. This is at weigh-in, right? If they find that after the competition has begun, they try to write in a change,
right,
and it goes lower,
yes,
the marshal has to, know, first of all. And if it still gets missed, which has happened, and the lifter makes the attempt on the platform, once it gets figured out, it's a no lift, and the lifter has the opportunity to, continue on, but they're out. They need to be compliant. They need to know as well. So as odd as that sounds, the ultimate responsibility is on the lifter, not on the officials.
Now we're seeing the Mirabeth Mendoza out in the
ready area there, yeah.
Ready area.
And she was a medalist in the snatch, right?
Yes.
Silver medalist in the snatch, and this is the thing we see. We'll call her a snatch specialist, but sometimes there are these lifters, and we have not seen much of Mirith before, and the reason may be why.
We may be seeing the reason why.
We may be seeing, thank you. So a lot of jockeying here, and right now it does look like 121 kilos is going to be the weight called for Patricia Strenous, and it does look like she'll take this. And from what I could tell, 123 is her best. She's tried as much as 126, but this is the heaviest opener that we've seen from her. She opened with 118 in split at the Europeans and was successful with it. So training has been going good over the year. So we'll say that. Strenous has 121 here.
All right.
A little bit of oscillation, another one of my favorite things. And that's a great lift, particularly in the jerk is where I'm noticing that. Let's take a look at, the replay here.
One thing to watch out for her next attempt, I think the jerk was a little out in front, not enough to miss, but just, ever so slightly. We'll see for the next attempt.
Okay. That will be, I would imagine, at least north of 123, which is her best, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, 122 is the weight that will now be called. And it looks like Hyung-Hwan Tea of Chinese Taipei is the lifter. Her best is 126, but she did that back in 2013.
Okay.
Let's see what happens
That's
with this.
be interesting. Okay. Her arms were slow to lock out, but locked out nonetheless.
And held it there.
And held it, yes.
Nice straight clean.
Yep. Well, her coach is Coach Lin, who I got a chance to meet at the World University Games, and good coach. And he's the coach of the 58 who won here.
Quote.
Quote.
All right, so now we're back to Bordignon. Second attempt, 122 kilos. Oof.
So she keeps the bar close. That's great. Good lift.
Good lift, and just in watching that, you notice that deep inhalation in before she took her, before she started the jerk. You a fan of that?
Yeah, so I mean, at Waxman Gym with our athletes, we teach that breath.
Great clean, and then watch her right here. She's
Can't really see it, but
Yeah.
what that breath does, it expands the lungs, and it takes up all the empty space in that chest cavity, and it forms a pneumatic brace against the spine, and it keeps everything really solid.
All right, so now here is Mendoza, first attempt, 123 kilos. She was the silver medalist in the snatch.
And out early. Oh, all right. Wasn't expecting that, but that's great. So one of the few Colombian lifters that actually don't move their hands
Don't
out.
have it. There are a couple, but yeah, she's one of them.
I'd
Tension in
imagine,
the arms.
I'd imagine she's going to have some problems standing up with weights as the competition goes on.
Well, yeah, I will say I think she's the only one I've seen power jerk.
Well, I think if she gets into the bottom of that, she's not coming up. If she squat jerks, she's not coming up.
No, hopefully she doesn't. I'm saying that was a straight up power jerk. So. All right, so Georgette Bordignon now on a third attempt, 123 kilos. She's not in that ready area, so she's not going to take this.
And this is great to see right here.
Samir is there.
Good.
Sitting there, it looks like her warm-up series is done. I don't think she's quite yet on deck. There are a few lifters in the way, but a couple of those weights in front of her are automatic increases.
And Sarah, in the World Championship, they give medals for snatch, clean and jerk, and total, unlike the Olympics where there's just one medal. So Sarah is in contention for a clean and jerk medal.
Quite frankly, every single person with a lift remaining is.
It's true.
And you know, but your point's not lost, and that's 100% true. And you know, there's always something positive to take home.
Absolutely. And now there's no pressure. There's no game to be played. It's just out clean and jerking the next two people to win this, at least in the clean and jerk. So sometimes great things can happen if you bomb out in the snatch.
All right, so now here's Anna Torres. This is her first attempt, 125 kilos. She made 99 on her second attempt snatch.
Nice lift.
No doubt about that.
Good lift. Torres, 125 kilos. Staying with 125. Romelo Begay, Albania, first attempt. To be followed by Sarah Samir, Egypt, at the same weight.
Just a nice movement.
Very
Good
nice
start.
lift.
And now it looks like
Nah, there's no way she's coming out for this. Oh, she is coming out for this.
it looks like this is going to be anyone's game. To see two of your snatch medalists out in the clean and jerk this early means that Maddy Rogers is sitting in a good position. So is Lady Solis. Good lift. Big Eye.
Kind of just overpowers the
Yeah,
bar.
she did. Big Eye opened with 121 at the Europeans earlier this year, and here she is with 125 on her opener. Solid, you know, but I think this was a rare display of nice job on the bottom there. Rare display of caution from the Albanian team. They have proven themselves to be aggressive and, you know, willing to go after just about anything. And,
right.
This might be a play to make sure that they secure a total and keep her in this thing.
Well, you want to squander an opportunity. I mean, she put herself in a great position in the snatch. You don't want to make any
tactical
mistakes,
errors,
any tactical errors in the clean and jerk.
That being going heavier than necessary.
Heavier than necessary, right? You get one in, and then you kind of see how everything plays out, and then you start taking people off one by one.
Yeah, because we should note that right now coming out to the bar is Hyung-Hwan Tea, and you know she snatched 100 kilos. She's taking 125 here on her second. Right now, there's nobody listed higher than 130. So this is still very much bunched together.
Well, but people are waiting. They're waiting
to make their changes.
Yeah. Very nice. So
for the second time in 2 attempts, a little walk forward, but never really in doubt.
No, really secure overhead, good overhead, solid overhead position, and that allows you to walk a little bit on the platform.
You know,
without losing it.
Yeah, you don't want to have to do that, but you know, it's interesting that in both attempts she did it the same way without ever really having a problem. And now we do have 126 kilos for Sarah Samir.
She looks better. Her face.
Yeah, composure.
Yeah.
And a signature of Sarah Samir is that very deep wrist layback in the jerk. It was something I noticed the first few times I saw her lift, and she looks better. You know,
I mean, you could tell as soon as she walked onto the stage, her demeanor was...
Everything about it is different. So watch right here, and beautiful, you know, just extension and turnover. And when she gets this bar over her head, you see that layback of the wrists there. I mean,
not a fan of that, actually.
But that's just natural. That's just where it goes. That's not done. I think that's just flexibility, right?
I just don't like, I prefer the wrist to be as straight instead of bent back.
This is CrossFit.
Huh?
No, sorry.
How many lifters do you have at the World Championships, Junior?
You had to do it, didn't you?
Well, the reason for that is a good number of reasons. One of them, which it takes more pressure. It takes pressure off the elbow. If the wrist is all the way back, it puts a lot of pressure on that elbow. So one of the reasons is for protection.
All right, so now here is 127 kilos for the second attempt of Patricia Strenous. Very smooth opener with 121. This is a pretty healthy jump here, a 6-kilo jump.
You know, here's somebody opened up early in the snatch, and now is
middle of the pack.
Middle of the pack, yeah. saw the same, you know, on that first attempt. I said he was talking about being out in front a little bit.
This might be.
I don't. Yeah. I kind of saw that in the first attempt. It just was light enough to where it didn't really affect it.
And it's going to be the left arm that I would key in. It might have been both, but it was the left arm that I noticed when she punches it out. Just this little bit of right there.
Absolutely.
After she's descended to the lowest point of that split.
She doesn't. I mean, ideally, we'd like to see the bar over the shoulder, over the hip, and then
straight line.
Straight line into in between both feet.
Okay.
And that time, not the case.
All right. So now here is Mendoza of Colombia.
A little struggle there, which.
She's
not surprised, but this is probably not going to be a struggle. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if she stands up with it, it's going overhead.
You were pretty well convinced about that one before she took it. Let's see this again here. Little bit of a, you know, bar drop on her there when she was getting on the clean, but just oof. Jerk doesn't really get any easier than that.
The athlete now, Patricia Strenous, 127 kilos.
All right, so now Strenous is called back at 27 for her third and final attempt. And, you know, you got to think she'd be inclined to take this. I mean, it was a 6 kilo jump to get her to this on her second attempt. So,
and I don't know if I think this is the way she jerks. I don't think she's doing anything different than she normally does, which leads me to believe she might have the same outcome.
All right. Grip even, a little uneven. But
all right,
it does not matter.
Right.
Because Patricia Strenous has just made 127 kilos on her third attempt. And you notice when she finished that clean, right as she got out of the bottom, or excuse me, right as she stood all the way up, her hands pop out.
Yes.
And they were not exactly lined up.
Right.
But it didn't matter. She just put that away.
She wants more.
So that means Strenous will finish the day 3 for 6 with a 221 kilo total, currently good for 6th place. And now we are back to Anna Torres.
And it's got to be near her best, huh?
It is. Her best is 26, so it's a little bit above it. And, you know, the 25 was a nice opener, technically proficient, good. But as she got past that, you know, midway of the clean recovery, I think it started to be a struggle on the legs. So 3 kilo jump could be pushing things.
That's...
Oh, squeeze through. Good job.
Very nice.
All right. You know, I think net, that looked...
That was better than the...
It was better, but I mean, it looked about the same in terms of tempo, right?
I thought she moved through the middle of the recovery on the clean better this time than she did with 25.
Yeah, take a look at this. Nice catch.
This will be her second attempt.
A little forward, she kind of leans forward a little bit in the jerk. Doesn't seem to affect her any. Generally, you know, you want to advise against that, but it works for her.
All right, so now a 3 kilo jump from the guy of Albania. And over the course of her career, which is a lengthy one, she's primarily been a 58 kilo lifter, spent some time. She was an Olympian at 58 kilos. She's tried north of 120, but we're now 2 bodyweight classes up. So here's 128 kilos. Best is 132.
Smooth, easy clean. I don't know. left elbow.
I think it's going to be okay. I'd really hate to see a lift get turned down over something that slight, and it won't.
All right,
good lift.
I'm glad.
Yeah. It looked a little on the ledge, but it was all right. And, you know, now this really puts Romela in good positioning. That was a much better clean than 25. And, you know, you look at that on the replay.
It looked worse than
from the angle we were on. Yeah. So now she has.
She's really happy. I mean, she's sitting there crying.
Well, 235 is the most she's ever done, and historically, her clean and jerk.
A little rough.
It's a lot rough. I'm not going to paint that another way. It's just red lines throughout. So, you know, for her to make 2 attempts and to be in position to potentially win a World Championships, you know, she's starting to feel the moment, I think, a little bit. Well, let's see what happens here on the third. There's still a lot of attempts left. She could get clipped.
Whether she wins or not is not going to be in her control. It's out of her control.
She's going to play from the lead.
Yeah.
All right, so now we've got 130 kilos on the bar. Kim Soo-Hyun, first attempt. And this is 1 kilo less than the most she's ever done. And if she's successful, this will move her into third.
Wow, good fight. That was great.
Toward the end there, she looked a little worried while she was running, but then you could see the moment where she knew she was going to get it stopped.
That was
just watch her facial expression.
First attempt, United States of America. We're in a jury stop, a technical hold. Please wait.
So you saw there on the punch out when her arms came to a full extension, there was some movement in those elbows, and it looks like the jury saw something they didn't like, and they're talking to the referees. So the jury will deliberate. In order to turn the decision over, all 5 must unanimously, as a 5-person jury, all must unanimously agree that the referees got it wrong. And they will then communicate that to the technical coordinator, who will communicate it back to the announcer and will give the reason behind the decision.
After discussion and deliberation, the jury
I don't think Maddie's going out with
the attempt. No lift.
They took it away from her.
So there it is. They have reversed the decision. They, being the jury, have reversed this decision because they unanimously believe that the referees who got it wrong by unanimously passing it. She got 3 white lights. And that's the second or third time we've seen that. It does happen, you know.
Do you think Maddie's coming out? I don't think Maddie's coming out with this 130.
130 kilos is still the weight, but we're going to
No, and what she did was drive Kim Soo-Hyun, you know, a little deeper into the hole here.
Yes.
So those little movements that you see right there were enough to get this lift turned around, and by saying Maddy Rogers is driving her into a hole, what just happened was a lift she thought was good got turned down. And then Maddy Rogers got introduced at 130 and then moved up, so her 2-minute clock also got burned. And they're just going to have to make a decision to move up and continue
They're going to go up.
And they got that change in. So the clock is running, but that change went in. You have until 30 seconds to get that change in. And if the clock is still running, usually, as long as the card is signed,
right,
it might take a couple of seconds for them to input it into the computer. And they'll give you the change.
And I think Maddie's number is 32. Is what she's going to come out with.
All right. For a couple of reasons, that does make sense. We'll see in a bit. But right now, here's Bordignon, 130 kilos, third and final attempt. 8-kilo jump.
That's a big jump.
Coming off of a 5-kilo jump.
Get it. All right. too much. I mean, that clean was great.
It was. And we mentioned in the snatch that, you know, she's someone unafraid to take some gambles. And it worked out, you know, for the most part, just fine. She had a good day, gamble, 4 for 6.
This is the place to do it.
This is her third and final attempt. She'll be followed by Mendoza of Colombia.
Nice effort, nice day for Bordignon. 30 years old. That was fun to watch. All right, now looks like we're gonna keep 130 kilos. And this is gonna be the third attempt of Hyung-Hwan Tea. I'm trying to see if she's ever done this before. 26, 27.
27's her best.
Yes.
Oh.
Maybe an elbow touch, maybe not.
All right.
It's close.
That was a tough clean.
A little too much today. So Hyung-Hwan Tea will be credited with 125 kilos from her second attempt and finish the day with a 225 kilo total.
Mendoza,
and
Colombia, third and final
now we will
attempt.
bring out
Torres, Mexico, next.
Mendoza. Now the elbows didn't touch there.
So I don't know if she's going to be able to stand up with this, but if she does, I don't think there's any doubt that she's going to make that jerk.
All right, so Mattie Mendoza, 130 kilos. So we'll give her a 236 kilo total and move her into the lead ahead of Big Ash. No. And I don't know if you noticed after her last attempt that she made with 27, when she was walking off the stage, she took her knee wrap off while she was still on the stage.
Oh, I didn't see
like that. And I think it was bothering her a little bit. And in case you're wondering at home,
now she has 2 knee wraps.
You are allowed to do that. It might even be her sock. You are allowed to do that now.
Oh, okay.
You can double wrap.
The guys moved up. Floaters, 131 kilos. We're going to call from United States.
Rogers going to stick with the 31.
Okay.
And the game, they're going to play the long game here with this. Yes. 131 kilos will move her for the moment into second place with a 235 kilo total. It will tie her with the lifter from Albania who has only 1 attempt left.
That's right. So actually 31 is the better call.
It's one of those, it's an okay either way type spot. So here's Maddy Rogers, first attempt, 131 kilos.
Accelerate. Are there and up? Take the step, take the step. Adjust. Drive and dive. Fight.
And that is a good lift. And one of the trademarks of Maddy Rogers, by the way, that's the most she's ever opened with in a competition. One of the trademarks of Maddy Rogers is the ability to adjust, either in the bottom position, and in this case, when she's recovering. The bar wanted to go a little bit forward on her, but she's just got such good awareness and such ability to control both her body and herself that, you know, it's almost indescribable, the ability to make lifts that she has. I mean, she's just got
that, whatever that it is.
Thank you. So Maddy Rogers is on the board with 131 kilos.
That's going to put some pressure on everybody else.
And I did misspeak earlier. I accidentally said she did 137. I know she's tried it. 134 is her best.
Okay.
So she's opening just 3 kilos below her best ever at the Worlds, with an opportunity to win the whole thing at some point if this shakes out. So we are now back to 131. That is going to remain on the bar. I do see the Mexican coach. Yeah, so Torres is going to move up, it looks like.
kilos now for the third and final attempt from Albania, Romello Begai. To be followed by
Begai
Lady
is
Solis.
being called to the bar with 131 kilos. And she is currently the leader with 235.
But her destiny is not in her own hands, like we had mentioned before.
But the end point of that destiny will be greatly enhanced by a successful attempt here.
Absolutely.
This is a 3 kilo jump, so this will move her up to 238, and that will be the line in the sand that everybody has to try to cross. It's as simple as that. You have yet to see Lady Solis. Ooh.
Oh boy.
She really put herself into that. Could have been the angle that she was on.
No limit.
I think it's possible that she sort of hit her hip there when she went down, but we're going to have her attended to. That means that no lift will result in a 235 kilo total for Begai, excuse me.
And you know, as far as Lady Solis goes, and Maddy Rogers finished second at the Pan Ams to Lady Solis.
2 years in a row.
Yes, so
And she has yet to be able to really catch Solis, and Solis, at least in the Western Hemisphere, has been, you know, I think the class
yes.
of the.
But now they finished tied in Snatch, and so there's an opportunity now for Maddy to get a little redemption, or for Lady to continue the dominance. So
Yeah, and you know, in terms of the medals for the clean and jerk, I think the return of Sarah Samir here,
yes,
she could be in play for a medal in the clean and jerk, and we're hearing a nice round of applause in the background. Begai is up there helping her off the stage, and I'm sure they'll work on her a bit as the rest of this competition progresses, but that was her 6th attempt, so she's done for the day. Hope the injury is not too serious, and we'll see. Yeah, that angle, that hip position. I mean, she could have dislocated. I mean, she could have dislocated her hip with that kind of angle.
You know, to your point about Sarah, you know, as a coach back there, I'm not worried about whatever. I don't care what she clean and jerks, because it doesn't count for the total. So although it's great,
it's going to be fun to watch.
It'll be fun to watch her, but you know, when if I'm a coach of an athlete back there, I'm not even paying attention to what she's doing.
Agreed. And Solis has moved up to 235, which is what she needs to close the gap on Begai.
The way she looked in her first attempt, I would imagine she's going to smoke this, but we'll see. Boy, her clean is just phenomenal. Yeah. That's great. That's great. She's really good. Really good.
Yeah, well, at home there's an Olympic bronze medalist, or there's an Olympic bronze medal. So you are 100% correct.
Right. I'm not going out on a limb there.
No. I mean, just look at this.
I love her clean, man. It just sounds great.
Yes. And the 180 that she has pulled off here is what a world-class athlete does.
Yes.
You know. Kim Soo-Hyun, 132.
Oh. Well, we guess that the rail is nailed in there pretty well.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I was wondering if that's nailed down.
Because I've been at meets before, especially even at national meets, when that thing is just laying there without being nailed in.
But I would prefer that to be the case. because if the bar hits it and absorbs it, the referee's not going to get killed. But when it hits it and it's locked down like that, it could ricochet back depending on how a lifter hits it. Like, so it could be, I think, dangerous.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, a lot of those referees aren't so young. They might not be able to get out of the way.
A lot of people would argue that ain't so bad.
Coming from a referee, that's not, you know, you can say what you want.
Yeah, don't kill me. Don't. All right. Here's Anna Torres, 132 kilos, 4-kilo jump off her second attempt, make with 128.
She's been pretty consistent throughout here with her attempts.
Almost.
Yeah. We saw signs of that on that second one.
And on the
little
first.
bit. Like I said, I think that when it's all said and done, she's going to be a 75. I just think she needs to grow into that body.
She really tried to get that rebound off that hop, though, and just a little too much today. But you always love to see the effort.
Yep.
All right, so now we are in a do-or-die spot for Kim Soo-Hyun.
And she just hasn't looked great in the clean.
The crowd is getting behind her. She needs this to post a total.
Get up. Yes.
You can kind of see it.
She was going out.
Yeah, and you can kind of see it at the bottom of the dip there. Just the way she drove the bar up was a little bit of an angle. And as she missed it, it looks like she, passed out a little bit. That always looks a little bit worse than it is. I'm sure it'll just take a second.
Hopefully that's all it is.
Yeah. So no total there for Kim Soo-Hyun of Korea. And 135 looks like is what will be next. And it will be Lady Solis on the platform. And if Solis does make that 135 opener, she will have 239. And that'll move her ahead.
Yes. I mean, Lady Solis is in a position of strength right now. If she makes her lift, she's going to be the world champion.
Well, it's interesting though, because this 135 will give her a 239 kilo total. She and Maddy Rogers both snatched 104. They both have more than one attempt remaining, and Samir, who has one more attempt, doesn't matter.
Right.
For the purposes of total. Who, by the way, she's going to play a top-down game. She's moved from 132 to 140.
Why not?
And she'll just wait to see what the gold medal clean and jerk will be. And she'll move into a position to take that weight when the time comes. So right now, the game, Sean, is between Maddy Rogers and Lady Solis. If Solis makes 135, Rogers must go 136.
Yes.
More weight, please. 135.
So here's the jerk from Kim.
Lady Solis. This is her first attempt.
Oh no, did she drop? Oh yeah, it looked like she kind of blacked out there.
No, that's more than a blackout.
Yeah, but
it carried off the stage from blackout.
Solis to be followed
a
by
hammer into
Rogers,
a china shop there, Sean. All right, so now here's Lady Solis. 135 kilos. This will move her into the lead.
Oh, well.
Well, she is in the lead. And with that, she has guaranteed a medal in both the clean and jerk and the total. And if I failed to mention it, Maddy Rogers is now guaranteed a medal in both or at least in the total. It's done. Maddy Rogers is on the podium twice.
Maddy Rogers.
Okay.
The question is, what color will it be? And if she will add a clean and jerk medal to that pile.
What's her best?
34.
Yes. That was my fault. Yeah. I'm at it. I'm at it. Come on, buddy.
So I think it's a new American record.
Accelerate, Maddy. Come on. Be patient.
Hearing Danny Carmago in the background.
She's gone. Right there.
Oh.
Okay, one more. One more. Stay, stay.
He heard it, and he's right. One more left. We're staying. There's no reason to play it otherwise.
The third and final attempt of Maddy Rogers, USA. As these would be successful.
Although 36 puts her in second, doesn't it?
In the clean and jerk.
In the total.
It's a great opportunity for us to thank our field of play crew. Thank you very much to our loaders for all your hard, quick work. We appreciate it.
It will move her ahead of Big Eye. But Big Eye has 235. So 135, well, yes, it would put her in second in total because right now she's in third, but Lady Solis, who made that 135, has 239. And if Maddy stays with 35 and hits it, she too will have a 239, which means she'll have a tie, which means she will be second to Solis. But she did get pinned with that clean.
Right.
You know, it's a gamble. It's a choice to play for a silver or to gamble for a gold.
110.
Right? Because if she stays with the 35, what she's doing is conceding the gold. But if she goes up, she's taking, I think, a bigger risk off of what could have been a max attempt.
I think you can make a good argument for both.
either. The choice is to play for silver, and that is what Maddy Rogers is doing right now. And let's be clear, this is a huge lift. This is a huge moment. So here is Maddy Rogers, 135 kilos, third attempt.
Fight! Come on.
All you got, buddy.
Give it to me. Give it to me. Up. Right there, baby. Rebound.
No.
All right. Well, a medal nonetheless.
2 sessions in a row. A U.S. flag will be raised. Maddy Rogers.
I know.
I mean, we haven't had 2 decades in a row where we've won medals, so I think this is a pretty good day.
Yeah. I'm sure Maddy doesn't want to hear it, but it's still a great outcome. And it is, you know, up near her best ever total. She's got 235 here. A little, perhaps, uncharacteristic in that she tends to make more than 2 attempts, 3 attempts, but, you know, she's going home with medals at the Worlds.
That's the only thing that matters.
And now here is Samir, 136 kilos. This will move her into the lead in the clean and jerk. This is her 3rd attempt.
She's looked fantastic in the clean and jerk.
terrific. And the grittiness and the guts and the technique and everything.
You wonder what happened in the snatch.
Yeah.
I mean, she was a different lifter.
She was 100%.
Colombia, currently in second place in the clean and jerk.
And just once it goes overhead, it stays there. And, you know, Sarah Samir, despite the bomb out, I think showed something special here. She is tough, and she is going to be around, and she is going to be a factor in this class for a while. And now we are down to our final 2 attempts.
She doesn't have to come. She doesn't have to take any more attempts. But
no, it's over. But we have 2 more. 137 kilos. Lady Solis.
So this is for the sweep of the, well, not the sweep, but I'd imagine she may not come out for the third.
I don't know. We'll see.
Timekeeper has 2 minutes ready on the clock. Once again,
it is for the gold in the clean and jerk. She is the world champion for 2017.
Right. Now, in her federation, I don't know if they give bonuses for each medal or if it's just a total. So if they're giving a bonus for the clean and for medals, then I would imagine she's certainly coming out for this.
And what she's doing is kind of interesting. She's hanging out.
Why not?
Yeah, well, and you can, but I think we're going to get I think we are going to see a third attempt.
Yes.
For one.
She's conserving her energy.
Yeah.
Which makes perfect sense.
I've never seen somebody stand on the step or sit right there on the steps before the world.
I've actually never seen that before.
Yeah, I know. Just have to think about that. I think it's kind of cool.
When you're the world champion, I guess, you know.
They'll leave you alone. They won't make you go backstage.
No, it's just odd. She has a lot of time. I don't know. Well.
All right, so now Lady Solis, third and final attempt, 137 kilos. This will move her ahead of Sarah Samir for the gold medal in the clean and jerk. Little too much today, but on the back of a 135 kilo opener.
I hope those are tears of joy.
Yeah, I think so. Lady Solis is a world champion.
Just a few minutes away from the medal ceremony for the women's 69 kilo class. Please stay close.
This was an exciting one, Sean.
Yeah, this was great. This is great. These last 2 sessions that we've done, the men's 77 and now the women's 69 have been really why weightlifting is so incredible. This is why people love it.
There's a look at Sarah Samir and, you know, a Jekyll and Hyde performance.
Yeah.
In the snatch, she was unglued. No other way to put it. Just completely unglued. And she bombed in the snatch and just turned in a killer clean and jerk series. She was great. Lady Solis, who will not be on the podium in the snatch, missed a 107 kilo third attempt, entered the clean and jerk competition 4th on the back of an opening clean and jerk, wound up becoming world champion. And it is nice to see Romela Vegai up and smiling off the miss with 131 there on her third attempt. It looked like she was banged up and hurting pretty bad, but she looks like she's okay, and that's nice to see because she's going to be on this platform to take her gold medal in the snatch and her silver overall. And Maddy Rogers becomes the 2nd U.S. lifter today to win 2 bronze medals. Oh, I'm sorry, she's triple bronze. All 3, so congratulations to Maddy Rogers and to our other winners in the 69 kilo class. And thank you all, seriously, for giving us a show. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah, this was fantastic. Well, it's this has been a in America, at least for American weightlifting, you know, I don't know the last time. Wes Barnett won a
clean and jerk.
Clean and jerk and maybe a total medal in what, 95?
97, it was a clean and jerk. All right, so here are our results. Speaking of the clean and jerk, in the clean and jerk in the women's 69 kilo category, you see a clean sheet in this group on first attempts, which is always awesome to see. And the strategy and the gaming and the battle and the back and forth, I think, was awesome. These are the full results of the whole class. There were a total of 18 lifters in it. And now here are the overall standings in the women's 69 class.